Welcome, ladies, to another episode of She Who Rises Up podcast. And today we are revisiting a favorite topic. But before we dive into it, Gemma,
Hello. Hi, everyone.
hello. So, what do you think of today's topic?
My God. Yes. Well, I cannot say more than share my experience, really, which I'm
Mm,
going through right now. So,
mm.
but please introduce it first.
Absolutely. Well, this is a subject that I personally absolutely adore because both Gemma and I are living it in different stages. We're deep in the thick and have been now for a few years, may I say. And and personally, the more I journey through it, the more I feel called to share what I'm learning and the insights on all the beautiful lessons that come up with that, especially also the practical tools that make life easier for us women as we walk this path. So what we're talking about, hey, menopause, premenopause, it's all part of the same thing at the end of the
Yeah.
day. So what do you think, Gemma, of this topic when I proposed it?
Yeah, well, I thought, oh, I don't really know that much, because I'm kind of learning and researching information that you're sharing with me as well. And I thought, what am I going to share? And I thought, well, there are plenty of things nowadays out there. Not enough. It's never enough. But the basics, like what to eat or what to do, what exercises, there are lots of information out there that I still don't know completely, not fully aware of all of it yet. So what I can share is my experience as I'm going right through it as we speak
Mm.
of the menopause. I experienced the perimenopause without knowing what it was, and thanks to you, I knew. I thought, what peri what? And that went, and then I had a period of being okay. I had my last period about 14 months ago, 15 months
Yeah,
ago
yeah.
now.
Mm.
So I'm officially, according to the what doctors say, on the menopause, and I was okay. I was doing fine. Didn't have my period anymore. I remember that I was quite sad that I wasn't gonna have my period again, and that I healed, and that's okay not to have it. And then suddenly it hit me, um, and I just went right down, really, really down. I've been to hell and I'm going right back now. I'm not fully there yet. Suddenly I started feeling, I can say depressed, but not quite, because I've been depressed before. I know what it's like to be down and depressed, and it wasn't like it. Because even though I had negative thoughts, but I wasn't deep into the negativity of the thoughts. It was something different. And then I knew, oh my God, this is the menopause. What am I going to do now? And my journey the last few, I don't know, days, weeks, I don't even know how long it's been. Um, it's it's been tremendous. It's been one of the worst experiences of my life. I thought I was gonna die, or basically, the thought of going out or getting out of the bed or even getting out of the chair to do something was impossible to do. I didn't understand what was happening. I've been exhausted. I've been sleeping a lot, going to bed really early and getting up really late. And thank God that I can do it. My lifestyle allows me to just concentrate on myself, so that's good. Um, at the same time, I've been going through, because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was the menopause, all the conscious work I'm doing with the facing your darkness and facing your ego, of dissolving into it and reconnecting with the being that we all are. I thought, well, maybe it's this. Maybe I'm going through a dark night of the soul. Um, and maybe I am, because I think the menopause, for what I'm experiencing, is a huge portal to allow that. So as I was doing the work, and menopause came with this symptom that took me out of reality, I was able to see parts of me that I wasn't able to see before, or didn't want to see, or didn't have time to see. So I've been doing lots of shadow work in addition to the work that I normally do. This has been really, really deep. And I feel already the transformation of the woman that I will probably become in God knows how long. But I can see where this is going. I can see which I didn't before. I have been grieving for the little girl, the wounded girl. I have been crying a lot for her because she died, or she disappeared, or I don't know. And I have glimpses of the woman that I'm becoming. I'm 56, and now I'm becoming a woman. Um, but it's a different kind of woman. Definitely, the little girl is not there anymore. I've been doing lots of work with astrology as well to heal that. But this going really down with the menopause have allowed me to really say goodbye to her and cry for her. And I'm welcoming, and I'm not here, not there yet, but I can see I'm beginning to welcome the little girl who's not wounded, the actual um, inner child that we all call, or the connection with the being that we all are. I can see that's where we're going. Um, but anyway, I feel I've been talking for ages, so
Mm. Yeah, so I have a couple of thoughts here. The first one that you mentioned, it feels like a dark night of the soul. I mean, I'm not going through menopause. It's like I'm not at the stage that you are in. I'm still preparing for that rite of passage. But from what I know, it is a dark night of the soul.
hmm. Yeah, I'm experiencing it. I had no idea how
The
profound.
body and the soul, I'd say.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. The body and the soul and the mind. It's a
Mm,
clearance of the mind as well, and it's very easy to get down and go with it and go really down. Um, so I don't know if you don't do spiritual work, how on earth do you go through this? I have no
mm.
idea.
I
I
do
have
I do
no
have
idea.
a hypothesis around that I'll share shortly.
Okay.
I do have a hypothesis. So I have another question because you mentioned that you were happy not to have your period. How was your relationship with your period prior to this? Because I think that could
Mm.
also reveal the level of grief, right?
Yeah. I used to love having my periods, even though I used to suffer a lot with depression. I was never the one who had long or hard pains or anything like it, but I used to go down really, really bad with depression and even had suicidal thoughts. Then when the period came, I would have a surge of energy and I would conquer the world. It was just up and down, really drastic ups and downs. And I think because when I was little, my dad explained to me what it was and how important it was for a woman. It was my dad who did it. It was always really, really nice for me to have my period. And I was going through my 40s or almost 50. And I was really sad that I knew it was going to go at some point because it started to be non-regular. And it was sad. It was sad. But I did my work to say goodbye to it. And I did what you told me to do, Lara, with the last blood. I painted a stone with it, with which I have in my altar.
Mm,
So that was a really nice thing to do. So I say goodbye to it. Now I'm happy not to have it. I made peace with that.
mm.
And then when I'm okay with it, all these symptoms arrived. So I heard or I read somewhere that as your periods wear, your menopause will be. And I'm experiencing that because my periods were they affected me emotionally very badly, and this has been even worse so far.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I shared that in fact because I really believe how our fertile years are that will affect massively our premenopause journey, will subsequently affect as well our menopause journey. So to have a great menopause, it needs to start with our first bleed and how we were initiated into it and the relationship that we have with our bodies and our menstruation, our cycles, because it's not the cycle is not about only when we bleed, right? There's a whole four seasons that we go through. So I believe that
Mm.
if we were to be initiated in the way that we were supposed to be initiated with our first bleed, then I really believe that life would be much easier for us. I mean, I've been calculating the other day, how long do I live through my premenopause, menopause years? And that is over half of my life. Very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. It would be really. I mean, we're living in an age now that these things are more open, even though we still have lots of work to do. Um, but we know certain things that we didn't know. I mean, I only knew about perimenopause 2 years ago when I was
Mm,
going through it. So if women who are listening to us have daughters, please do what Lara just said. Initiate
mm,
your daughters into what it is to be a woman, really, all the different stages and what they are, so that they start looking after themselves on that aspect from now on that they have in the periods. So tell me, because you said you had um a perspective on what to do if you're not really doing any spiritual work. How do you
oh
cope?
yeah, yeah. I have many perspectives. We could make it out to be whatever we want it to be, and that is the beauty of the premenopause menopause journey, is that
Mm.
it will meet you exactly where you are in life.
Oh,
So
right.
right, so if you
Mm.
want to go down to make it as mystical as you want it to be, is going to meet you there. If you are not in the mystical arts, is going to meet you there. But
Okay.
regardless is a huge initiation into the body, and I'll talk about that. I could talk about this as well shortly. I mean, from our perspective, we did share a couple of episodes where we talked about premenopause, and of course, we
Hmm.
are in the thick of it. We are right in the middle of it. So we will be revisiting this conversation, because our mindset, our heart set, our body set keeps changing.
Hmm.
We have new discoveries, we have new insights, things that we are experiencing ourselves through our bodies, and things that we are learning through other people, that it becomes very crucial as well.
Mm.
And I'm very excited as well that I've in the autumn a book that I wrote a chapter as a collaboration book called Menopause Wise Women Don't Whisper. I'm really excited to read the stories of the other women. In total, we were 50 women who wrote this book. So imagine all of us sharing the tremendous amount of wisdom. I can't wait for that
Yeah.
to be launched. So
Mm.
um
So
what
when is it launching?
we don't have a date yet. I believe
Hmm.
sometime in October. Sorry,
Okay.
sometime in the autumn. Now, since I've discovered certain truths about my premenopause, I have shared them with so many women, and I can't tell you the amount of times, literally, I've lost count, the amount of times I've witnessed that mic drop moment, the oh, now it makes sense kind of realization, where for some lady has landed really well, like for example yourself, it landed really well, it made sense straight away. Maybe
Mm.
for other people it took some time, and some others have dismissed it at first, even though from the outside it was so clear that they were in it. And I believe that is because of the deep conditioning that runs through. I mean, if you were to ask me a few years ago, what was the first thing that came to my mind when I thought of the word menopause, my honest answer would have been um, aging,
Mm.
undesirable. Where has my love gone?
Yeah.
In fact, if I was to ask you, what did you think? What was the first thing that came to mind? What would be the words that would come to mind for you?
Yeah. Aging, definitely.
Mm, yeah, yeah. There we go.
Okay.
So all these narratives are that we have inherited around menopause are so disempowering, so deeply disempowering, that they're soaked in fear and shame and invisibility. And if I was to put my conspiracy hat on, then I would say it makes perfect sense for that conditioning to exist. But I'm not going to go down that route, because it's not the right time for that. The way I see it now is completely different, right? This is a
Mm.
profound initiation, invitation to explore what truly means to be a woman. and to reclaim her, redefine her in our terms, in our own terms, finally and wholeheartedly. And this is when I discovered this beautiful truth, at least for me, that premenopause, menopause is not the end of womanhood. If anything, is an invitation to become even more woman.
Hmm. And I can tell you from my perspective right now, you don't feel it at all. It's gone. All that is gone, but hopefully it
Mm.
will come, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I'm lucky to be going through that you didn't have the chance yourself to go through, is that you didn't prepare yourself.
Hmm. No.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah, I didn't really um read much about it. I thought, I don't know, I just thought it was not gonna affect me that
mm.
much, um
Yeah.
somehow. And this came as a huge surprise. So please don't do what I did. So let's get ready, let's get prepared, let's read everything we can. There's lots of something I've been doing for the last 2 days, and I was
Mm,
mentioning to Lara before starting recording, was that I made some changes in the food that I was eating. So I started drinking lots of water, eating, having supplements as well. And in just 2 days, I've noticed a huge improvement. So I'm gonna continue,
yeah.
yeah, adding to those thing, and retaking the exercise as well, which I stopped. Um, yeah, but
So all these things are important. All these things are important because I mean, for the people who are committed to growth and evolution and finding our own truth, then this becomes a beautiful and the most intense time. Becomes like a huge mirror. That's why I called the premenopause perihuasca, because it's very much like
Mm,
an ayahuasca journey. You're shown what needs to be seen and feel and heard, and what needs to be learned or relearned about yourself. So it becomes a huge, huge mirror. And of course, you are right in the middle of your own death.
yeah,
Metaphorical death, of course, we're
yeah,
talking about here, the death of the old
yeah,
for the new woman to be rebirthed. So,
mm,
and what I know is that you will emerge as a woman. So,
yeah. I
um,
hope so. But right now, it really
mm,
does feel like death. Well, not
yeah, it feels like death.
yeah, not right now, but a few days ago, I thought I was gonna
Mm,
die. And I mean, you're talking to a woman who have had lots of spiritual deaths, in brackets. There are lots of changes, and I'm used to the concept of death, transformation, renewal. Nothing like this ever before I've experienced. I actually believe I was dying. It
mm,
was really that deep. Yeah, I'm coming out of that, and I mean, I was conscious that it was a metaphorical feeling that I was feeling, but I was physically feeling I was dying. I can't explain it, but it felt really like that. And I've done lots of work with my self-image as well. I remember before this transition, I was looking at my mirror, and I was seeing myself really beautiful, and I loved myself as I was. I finally accepted like I am. And suddenly, as you were saying, I feel really old from one day to the next. I feel old. I look at myself and see an old woman, and I don't know what's happened from one day to the next. How can this happen?
yeah.
But it's just the hormones doing the things. It's not that you change from one day to the next. Your appearance hasn't changed from one day to the next, but you feel like it. Mm.
Absolutely. I mean, I want to share things, but I know it's intellectual right now. So that's why I really believe that one of the things, for example, that I've learned, if anything, to learn from people that have gone through this portal themselves, because it becomes even more important. For example, I saw a beautiful woman on Instagram. She was sharing solid business advice, but she's a young woman, so I love this advice, but it doesn't apply to me. you
Mm.
know
Yeah.
it doesn't apply to me. So the reason I'm sharing that, then, that it becomes even more important to surround ourselves with women that are going through that, and women that have gone through that, to extract the wisdom and share their wisdom, and to say, hey, they call it the second spring for a reason. It's called the second spring for a reason. And
Um,
also I believe that you're going to a beautiful place as well in
yes.
August, which I'm
Yeah.
very excited about for you,
Yeah.
where
I'm really looking forward to.
mm,
It's going to be at the end of August, the last week of August, and is with a with an old woman she's already on her almost 70, so she's very well into her menopause. She's been accompanying women through different aspects, not only menopause but sexuality and the healing of of the ancestors and many other things. So I would love to tell you my experience when that happens, what I've learned, and it's going to be 2 months from now. So lots of things I would have experienced and learned as well
Yeah.
about myself. So I'm looking forward to
Absolutely,
that.
absolutely. I mean, what I know again through, because I'm consciously been on the path of premenopause for the last few years, and a few more years where I didn't realize that I was going through it. And that's why I believe to name it is to liberate it. Literally, I live my life through that lens because, if anything, it's such a call to return to the body
Mm,
again and again and again. It's my hypothesis, this is my insight. I mean, I haven't, I don't
mm,
know how true it is or not. I believe that if you're leading a mystical life, that this is going to be even a deeper initiation. I believe this is an invitation to bring back the wisdom of the grandmothers.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
this archetype has been so neglected in the Western world. In so many cultures, she's cherished, and but in the world that we live in, not so much, right? So let's bring that
fortunately. Hmm.
wisdom of the grandmothers. So
Yeah,
it is a return to the body, no doubt about that. It is.
yeah, yeah.
And also something that I want to make clear, that my intention is not to romanticize premenopause as to only, because I believe that's important to look after and manage your symptoms, as well as asking yourself some questions behind what's going on here with the symptoms, with this particular symptom.
Hmm.
And we may have the same symptom, but the meaning behind it might be totally different, and hence the reason that I said earlier on that it will meet you exactly where you are on your on your journey. So no, it's not about romanticizing premenopause.
Also, each woman is different. One of the things I like about this book that you recommend me, which I haven't read yet, but I did read the first few pages before the first chapter, and they just say very clearly that what they say is, in general, based on of all the women they've spoken to, and of the authors have learned about menopause, talking to other women. But of course, each woman is a different world on their own. You might have symptoms that are not in the book or experiences that are not in the book. So each one will have their own experience. And I was hoping that mine was going to be easy, and I wasn't feeling anything, so that was fine, and it wasn't. So um, yeah, the reading and prepare is important. But yeah, it's good to know. And also regarding the body as well, I'm sensing lots of things, and one of them is what you just said, that the body is going to become really the temple.
Yes.
I've been one who have neglected the body quite a lot during my young age, because it wasn't important. I was into the spiritual world and spirituality and the emotional world. The spiritual world was much more important to me, which is not anymore. The body is the vehicle that we used to be here. We have a body, and we have to look after it. Really, is the main job that we have to do, if not the only one, to look after the body
To
and
look
the
after the
mind.
body. Absolutely. So then I wonder if, because of the neglect that you had with your body back in the days, then this is the hit is even stronger. I'm not
Hmm.
sure if you resonate with that. It's like, no, I'm here. You better now listen to me now.
Yeah, 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 could be. I always knew, because I used to think when I was young, oh well, I will look after the body later on. Now I have to look after the mind, the emotions, and all the baggage that we had as well. So yeah, now is the time, and it's a different type of looking after as well. It's not what we've been told to. Oh, let's have a massage, or let's do a walk. It's not about as well, but it's not that. It's becoming the mother that you are for you. Is
Mm.
nurturing yourself to that level, um, feeling the mother love for you, and that includes body and mind.
So I'm excited to share something that I didn't share with you actually. I
Mm.
came to that conclusion yesterday. I've been thinking quite a lot about what to write for psychologies, and
Mm.
now we have a blog called um, My Premenopause Diaries. So the idea is that on a weekly basis, I'll be writing around these discoveries. So my intention is to keep this very alive and
Oh,
very practical sharing. No, I'm going through,
mm,
this is what's working for me, and also for other women to be seen and witnessed. So that is the intention. So I'm very excited about as well to
wow.
launch this.
Awesome. I'm
Um,
really very excited about that because Psychology
yeah,
is a really good magazine, and I'm really
yeah.
excited that you're doing that.
So anything else that you'd like to share before we wrap
Fabulous.
up?
No, just again, the two reminders that read, inform yourself, prepare yourself for perimenopause and menopause, and educate your daughters as well, prepare your daughters.
Mm,
Mm.
beautiful. Okay, ladies, so with this, we're going to wrap up today's episode. We hope you got something out of it. If you did, please let us know. We'd be delighted to hear from you. And until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of your bodies and take care of your hormones.